Hello.
James.
Yeah.
I need to start by breaking format because we've got some problems.
Right, okay.
So firstly, if you're listening to this call, you may not know that James Farley and I work together on a weekly video game podcast called The Computer Game Show. And we do that podcast with two other people. We've mentioned them on our calls before, Matt Murray and Sean Bell. And the reason why we're telling you, or why I'm telling you this, is that we've got a little bit of a problem, haven't we, James?
What? What's the problem?
Well, they don't know we're doing this.
Yeah.
This is a complete surprise for them, basically, because they've wanted us to do this, and we've never done it. And we're in a WhatsApp group with them.
Yeah.
And they're quite open to talk about Marvel stuff.
Yeah, this is a problem.
And when they were doing this last week, I was like, I wanted to go, whoa, don't say anything. Because they were talking about, is it The Eternals, the new film?
Yeah, they were starting to talk about Eternals, and then you were like, oh, I want to see that. And then they started telling you stuff about it. And
I was joking. Like, I was joking. Like, I was sort of playing up to the whole, oh, of course he doesn't, because he's not into Marvel stuff. He doesn't watch any of them. Yeah. And, I thought, oh, right, this is going to cause a problem. Well, anyway, the next day, or a day or two after all that went down in WhatsApp, thankfully they didn't spoil anything. And I think if they did, I would have forgotten it by the time I got to that film anyway. Yeah. But
well, I mean, I was sending you messages during the whole thing saying, stop responding to this stuff.
Yeah. And then I saw Sean like 2 days later. We met up, had lunch with a couple of other friends, and they were all talking about Marvel stuff. Because, it's like, well, it's safe around Dave because he's never going to watch them. And I was like, to be honest, I didn't pick up on anything, right? I completely ignored it. Yeah. I didn't get involved with the conversation. They must have thought I was so rude because I just sort of blanked out. Yeah. But yeah, they were talking about like Marvel stuff, and I was like, I really wanted to go, Sean, please don't, because I'm watching them all and I don't want anything spoiled.
And we're recording a 29-part podcast series about it that you don't know about.
This is part of why we're doing it like this, right? That we're doing it in secret because you know what the internet's like. Someone will send me a DM saying, "Oh, Spider-Man dies in one of them," and I'd be like, "Oh, fuck off, mate! Why would you tell me that?" Or whatever the spoiler may be. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know any of that.
It's that, and it's also, I'm quite looking forward to, I'm not getting abuse every week yet. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. When we did this for Star Wars, you used to get so much abuse every week for getting Star Wars facts wrong. Yeah. Not even major facts, tiny little details, people would absolutely hammer you. When we watched, what was the famous one? It was when we watched... it was Solo film, right?
Yeah, it was Solo, yeah.
Yeah, we watched the Solo film, and I said, they kept focusing on a dice. What were the dice about? And you said, no idea. It was just added in. It's never been in a Star Wars film before. And you had about 40 tweets saying, no, the dice were in the first movie.
With pictures, people taking screenshots with crappily drawn red arrows pointing at them and stuff like that. And I had to do a pinned tweet in the end, to explain, all the problems that we'd had during recording that.
That's right, yeah. And when I said what other celebrities were in The Force Awakens, and you failed to mention that David Craig was in The Force Awakens. Yeah, that's right. Oh God, that's all coming back to me. I need to do a new run of those films, man.
So this is why with this is better, because I know all that's coming, right? Okay. But it's coming in the future, so I don't have to worry about it now.
Yeah,
exactly.
You'll care less about it.
And also, I'll be like, that was ages ago, I don't remember that. So it's fine.
Yeah, it's true. God. Oh, what sort of messages do we want to send to ourselves in the future? Well, I suppose, because this is another problem that I wanted to talk to you about. Uh-huh. I've currently got COVID. I have coronavirus at the moment, and it has fucked me way worse than I thought it would. Actually, that's not fair. I've been okay. I've had 2 days where I felt really bad. The Thursday, I was a mess, right? And I woke up the next day and found out that I'd sent a complete wrong set of drawings to someone at work, like completely different building, and I'd ordered a suit to the wrong address.
So you said you just ordered a suit that you didn't need.
No, I needed a suit. I needed a suit because I tried my pre-lockdown suit on, and I was like, "This ain't happening." And I've got a wedding to go to at the end of the month, so I needed a suit, but I could only order it via the internet. When I checked the next morning, it said that I'd ordered it to the wrong place. So it's someone in this block of flats, so it'll be all right. But
do you know, there's so many things I was hoping were going to go wrong with this. I was hoping it was going to be like a kind of like Nathan For You, like far too big for you, or something like that. Like suit that you'd ordered, like the sizes are wrong or something like that. That would have been good. But no.
What? Why would you hope that? What a horrible thing to say to a friend.
Because I'd have liked to have seen the pictures. It would have been funny.
What an awful thing to say to a friend, James. I really hope you fucked up your suit purchase.
Yeah, why not?
What? Why? That's the question.
Come on, if I'd have ordered a suit that was way too small for me, and then taken pictures of myself wearing it, you'd have loved that.
Hilarious, but I wouldn't have hoped that you have done that before.
I think you would.
No, I wouldn't have. Like, if you'd have sent me that, I would have laughed my arse off and thought it was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
But leading up to it arriving, I wouldn't have sat there hoping that it went wrong. That's vicious.
Well, we're different kind of people, aren't we? It's
We are different kind of people. I'm more in your face, laughing at your misfortune. You've just got this general hope that things go wrong for everything, really. Really, when you think about it, it's for everything, right? Video games, movies, everything you hope goes wrong.
I don't hope it goes wrong. I just expect it to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right, so the reason why I'm telling you about the COVID and the weird stuff that I've done is that I watched this film last night. So
I remember it.
No, I remember it. I'm kind of worried about my notes and what they're going to say. I bet they don't make any sense.
Well, you see, I rewatched this as well. I watched it over 2 nights because I couldn't. I don't know why. I just couldn't watch it all in one go. And yeah, I don't know. I got weird feelings about this film. But
okay, well we'll go through my notes, won't we? And then we can summarise at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Iron Man 2.
Wait. Stop. First of all, though, you watched this with Harry as well, yeah?
Yes, I did, James.
Yeah. Okay, because there's one bit I know that you're going to bring up, but yeah, go on, continue.
Probably. Do I mention this now, though? No, I'll mention it at the end because so this is I'll mention it at the end.
Is this something I'm getting a bollocking for?
No. It's just so funny that happens today. You might not get a bollocking too badly as you might see what I mean. This is what COVID does to your brain. I don't even know what I'm saying.
This is real, Dave. This is a real call, and it's like...
I've got a feeling that I'm going to wake up and go, no, you didn't watch Iron Man 2. Like, I'm
hoping you're going to call me tomorrow and say that we've got to do the Iron Man 2 call. You've forgotten.
Right, here we go then. The first of the films that Harry is truly excited for. As I mentioned before, Iron Man 2, he's seen Iron Man 1, he knows the characters, he kind of knows what to expect, right? So whereas he wasn't looking forward to Iron Man because he didn't know what an Iron Man was, he now knows what an Iron Man is. So he was really excited for this.
And he was, because he was digging the little cameo, wasn't he, at the end of the other one where Tony Stark turns up, yeah.
He was. Opens with a news story that was supposedly completely made up on the spot. Remember that, James? Absolutely no way that happened.
Which one? What do you mean?
The news story where he said, Tony Stark said, I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Completely made up on the spot. I mean, completely changes the whole course of where Iron Man goes in the future, but that's fine.
No, because it established that they weren't going to use secret identities.
Yeah, that would have 100% been planned, I'm telling you.
No, because they hadn't decided that at that point.
All right.
Go on.
They definitely did. Mickey Rourke, okay, you have my attention, Iron Man 2 is what I've got down here. Am I supposed to know who the old guy who dies is? That should be you. No, I obviously, as you watch through the film, you work out who that guy is. Which, I mean, there's a lot in this film that you don't work out. You either don't work out, or I was just like completely in COVID brain. But we'll get to that. Right. Harry is having a go at me for taking notes when I should be watching the film. He genuinely did that, right? Because then he goes, "Oh, Dad, it's got the C word in it." I went, "What?" Because I was typing. I went, "It's got the C word in it. It just said it." I said,
"The C word?"
Yeah, I said, "What?" Right, I'm going to kill James. Like, I'm going to kill it. I said, I rewound it, right? And he said, "Look, it's in the subtitles." And the word was crap. James, the word was crap.
Okay. That's a relief. That is a relief. I mean, I thought Marvel probably wouldn't have gone for the other one.
No, could you imagine that? The start of an Iron Man film. Like, I did sort of say to him, You're nearly 8 years old now, Harry. You can say crap in front of me. That's okay. As long as you don't say it outside the house, you can say crap in front of me. But please don't call it the C word. Because I don't want him to go to school and say, "Dad made me watch a film with the C word in it."
Or it's like, Dad's always using the C word around the house.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that would be true. But Harry, right, okay, we've read that bit. Shit, the intro to this film is way better than the ones I've seen so far. Feels properly exciting. I don't know. It's probably because we know Iron Man. I don't know. That whole intro bit, I just kind of thought, oh, it's not doing her, ooh, look at, what's this about? What's that about? It was just like, boom, Iron Man. Yeah, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could dig that. 6 months earlier. So this is after Mickey Rourke does that weird thing where he screams. Doesn't he, when his dad dies?
Yeah, he's a bit upset.
A bit weird.
He's a bit upset.
I get it, but at the same time...
It was a bit unnecessary.
You'd reshoot that, wouldn't you? Yeah. 6 months earlier. Cool, that means we'll find out what that was all about then. I think I'm paranoid that I'm supposed to know things going into these movies.
No.
Like Matthew Castle's Blorko tweet.
What was that?
Do you not know Matthew Castle's Blorko tweet?
No, I don't. What's that?
Let me find it, because... I believe Matthew Castle is a fan of Marvel, so he wasn't taking the piss, but he was just making a joke about Marvel films. And even though I'd not seen any, I think it's Blorko.
I don't even know what that means. Find it. What does that even mean?
Well, this is it. Hold on. What's Matthew Castle's Twitter thing?
You're asking the wrong person there.
I really am, aren't I? Oh, here you go. There we go. Matthew Castle. It's Mr. Basil _pesto on Twitter. He tweeted out, which went on to get 10,000, nearly 11,000 retweets and 100,000 likes, right? My favourite bit of Marvel films is where you sit through 9 minutes of credits to watch a 5-second clip of some guy stepping through a doorway and saying, "It's me, Blorko." Right, which is a cracking tweet, right? There's no getting around that. But there is part of me that feels like I should be knowing more than what I know about Marvel watching these.
The funny thing about that is that actually, from watching these films again recently, I've actually found myself enjoying them probably a bit more than I did the first time around.
I bet you did, yeah, because you know stuff, right?
Yeah, I know everything already, and so it's like a lot more things make sense, and I also am not trying to work out the story, because that's the biggest problem with this one, like in the sense that there's a lot going on in this film.
Yeah, there really is.
Which is a bit of a problem.
It's a very bizarre film.
Yeah.
But there's a gag in this that I think is supposed to be a gag, but I do not get it, and I think I get it, but even when I get it, I don't think I understand why. It's weird, but we'll get to that. It might not even be a gag. It might be me just overthinking something, but we'll get there. Tony Stark seems to be doing well on America's Got Talent. It did look like an America's Got Talent set when he landed at, what did they call it? Stark?
It was like Stark Expo. Like that. Yeah, Stark Expo.
That's it. Yeah. I'd have buzzed him during the ego speech, though. I didn't like that bit where he was giving the ego speech. I thought, I don't know, the delivery of that didn't really land with me. I
don't know. He was being super arrogant.
He was, but then he wasn't. I don't know. He didn't have the swagger with the arrogance. I don't know. I felt that kind of just missed the mark there. But anyway, whoops! Oh, Tony is toxic. In more ways than one. Yeah? Yeah, a little gag there about his toxic behaviour and also the fact that he has toxic inside his blood. not sure these point of view shots work was Tony was leaving the expo. What did you think of those bits?
The point of view shots? What was that? Was that when, what is it, as in like first person shots of him?
Yeah, when Jon Favreau's leading him out of the expo, it cuts to point of view shots from Iron Man. And they were just shaky. They looked a mess. They looked like totally digitized, you know.
But isn't that to try and sort of emphasize, you know, his mindset or whatever, that he's actually all over the place?
I think it was more to show, like, give you a view of how many people, like, how popular he was. I think that's what they were going for. But it was just irritating. And I thought, I don't want to look through his eyes. I want to learn about Iron Man. I don't want to, like, try and be in his head.
Don't want to be him.
Don't want to be him. He's clearly he is a bellend. Not right. Okay. Gary Shandling. That was a surprise. That was a surprise. Because
I mean, it's not spoiling anything, but he turns up in later films as well, which is
Thinking back, I did know he was in these films, but I'd obviously completely forgotten because. I mean, the interview I heard was that Senator Stern was named after Howard Stern.
That's right, yeah.
That's true, is it?
Yes, that is true.
Right, so I used to listen to a lot of Howard Stern at one point, and I'm pretty sure that was mentioned while I was listening to it. Although, for some weird reason, I didn't put the two together when I was watching this film and remember that old anecdote and remember it from here. But, yeah, Gary Shandling is very rarely popping up in films like this, so that was a big surprise, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's... See, this is the other thing with these films, is that they kind of... the talent that they manage to get in these films is quite incredible, actually.
It's mad, isn't it?
And I think that's part of one of the reasons why there's been this sort of like the cut through, as it were, you know, to like, and why they've become so big is that they get these people that you're just not expecting would have anything to do with like a superhero film or something.
Gotta say, though, he wasn't great in this.
Oh, it was all right.
I mean, he delivers one really good line, but I think for the majority of it, I'll be honest, this courtroom scene isn't really pumping me with excitement. I didn't care for this courtroom scene. Then I put this, right, hold on. I recognise the name of the army dude. Was it James Rhodes?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
But this is a completely different actor, right?
Okay, did I not mention this in the first one? I can't remember.
I don't think you did. If you did, I don't remember.
So basically, the original actor was replaced.
Wow.
And this is Don Cheadle, and he is now Rhodes for like all of the rest of the films.
I know Don Cheadle. He's great. Like, but it was so confusing.
Yeah. So do you want me to tell you why this happened?
Yes.
Okay, so apparently the actor had a 3-picture deal with this, with Marvel, you see, the original actor, which was Terrence Howard.
Okay.
And what happened was that Jon Favreau was apparently not happy at all with his performance in Iron Man, like in the first film. And
I could see that.
Yeah, and he reshot lots of things and cut loads of his scenes and everything. So when they decided to, obviously, you know, they were going to be back for Iron Man 2, they cut his part down like massively, like from it.
Yeah.
And then said to him, "We'd like you to take a pay cut because you're not in this film very much." He wasn't happy with this, and then basically they kind of parted ways, and then they rewrote it again.
Oh, so that's snide. That's well out of order, isn't it?
They rewrote it again.
Oh,
so
that's really
was in it,
that's
and replaced
awful.
him with Don Cheadle. Yeah,
that's just fire him and give him the money. Like that. That's awful. To like rewrite it and say, "Oh, you're going to get paid less." Well, I'll quit then. Okay, rewrite it again. Put all those bits back in.
According to IMDb, they were asking him to like accept an 80% pay cut as well.
That's terrible.
Which is pretty awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why
has he done
gone.
any interviews since?
I don't think he's talked about it like really like directly.
No, he's
but
probably
there has been
NDAs and stuff, right?
But there has been conversation about it, obviously, because people have often wondered, like, why was. But apparently, it was largely because Jon Favreau was not happy with him, you know, in that role, and so that's why they went with Don Cheadle instead.
Really jarring watching these films really close together.
Yeah, well, because normally you'd have had several years, you know, that it would have gone, but it still is really noticeable that this has changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different person. They didn't even try. They didn't even give him that little moustache. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Didn't even try. But anyway, I mean. Ultimately, not a bad change. I mean, the road is way better character in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Wow, he's had a massive upgrade to a mobile phone, hasn't he? He's gone from a 2-inch screen to a transparent phone that can beam videos to all TVs.
I know. Where's the Verizon one gone? Like the one that like flipped round that was using in the desert.
Could you explain that to me? So they're in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And they're trying to. I had to try and explain this to Harry. Harry was really struggling to know what was going on. They're saying they want the technology for the American army, right? Yes. And Tony's not letting them have it, right? Mm-hmm. And there's whether they could just take it or not. That's what the courtroom thing's about. Why then did Tony send videos of like various different opposing forces making robots?
Okay, so the whole of this courtroom thing is really about like who has the rights to the stuff.
Gotcha.
And also whether like Tony Stark as a private citizen should be able to sit on something like this.
Agreed.
And not the American government.
I'm aware of that.
It's so destructive. So the point they were trying to make was that you've got to give this to us now because there are other countries which are producing this stuff as well, and we need it, so that we can keep ahead. And so the reason why he showed those videos was to demonstrate that other countries are still very, very far behind. Like, they're really, really far behind.
They were far behind, but like they were still creating big robots with guns and stuff. Like, I was kind of like, they're not that far behind.
I know, and it's exactly, but that was his point. Was he was trying to say like, look, the tech I've got is so far advanced that nobody is going to take over.
Which is fair, really, because it was all based around that reactor, right? Like that, yes. They clearly didn't have I get that.
Also,
they could have represented that better though, because I thought when he showed that robot that was coming out, I was like, that is scary as fuck, mate. I'd be all over that. Like, we need to stop these robots that they're making. Let's have the Iron Man. All you're doing is convincing me that you should hand that technology over.
That's the thing, because you see, this comes up in later films as well, but this idea of like individuals holding this amount of power and whether it should be under the control of governments instead, it's something which they go into in more detail later. And I think that's quite an interesting part of the Marvel universe.
I think it was an interesting argument, although it's a bit, it doesn't really go into enough detail in this film. It's a bit silly in this film, isn't it? It's kind of like, we want it. You're not having it. It's like, okay.
But it's like, he comes out and he says, I've privatised world peace. This is like, I'm doing this, to keep everyone safe. And it's like, the arrogance there is like pretty incredible as well.
It's bad. Okay.
But I've got to ask you though, what did you think of Justin Hammer?
No, I've saved my. I'll hold off on that.
You're saving that? Okay. Go on, continue.
Do I say? Do you want to know what I think of that character?
Yeah, I do actually. But do you want to save it?
I don't know whether I should tell you now. I suppose I'll tell you now. I loved him.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought he was brilliant. From the moment he started calling him Anthony. I know that was great. I thought he was brilliant throughout the film.
When I watched this film, I was thinking, I absolutely love this character. I think he's fantastic.
So do I.
He's really funny and just like such an asshole.
So do I. I mean, he's fucking great.
And he's also so pathetic as well.
He reminded me a bit of a better version of that one. What was that one in Star Wars? The newer films.
Oh, I don't know. There's loads of them.
No, the Divi one. But I don't want to. I was about to give a massive Star Wars spoiler away there, but I won't do that. The Divi one, Commander,
No, I don't.
The youngish sort of guy.
The youngish? There's loads of youngish sort of guys.
The one that takes control of the whole... I'm doing it again! Never mind. I
don't know what you're talking about, but never mind. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Brilliant line delivered. Fuck you, Mr. Stark. Fuck you, buddy. I thought that was great. Harry wet himself because obviously it's bleat. So, and he knows that just means there's a swear word there. And he just thought it was hilarious. Okay, electric whips look good. So this is the first time we see the electric whips. Does that character have a name?
Well, that character is a kind of like amalgam of several characters, but you can just call him Whiplash.
Oh, right. I think I call him Whip Man throughout my notes. But yeah, like I just thought, why are they not? Because they don't use superhero names much in this, do they? I'm like totally confused. Like I was expecting it like, I am the Whip Handler. or something, you know, and they don't do that at all.
You don't get that, I'm Batman. Yeah, that sort of thing.
You don't get that. I mean, you get Iron Man, obviously. But,
that's true, yeah.
Using the suit is killing him. Drama. I thought that was good.
It's not the suit that's killing him.
No, but there is a note early on, or a comment or something, where they say the more you use the suit's power, the faster you will deteriorate.
Yeah, because it means that the power cell.
Yeah, the power cell is like
chest.
using. Right, okay. It's been overused. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, right. So we see Scarlett Johansson for the first time. That was another one. I was like,
not expecting that.
Scarlett Johansson. No, absolutely not. Is that silly? Is she like massive in the Marvel universe? And I just didn't know.
Dave, she's got her own film.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, oh my god, Scarlett Johansson. She's
a major character. Like, you know.
But I've not seen them, James.
Yeah, I know. But
I will say this, right? There's a scene in this that I think it should never be in this film, featuring Scarlett Johansson, and we'll get there.
I know. I think I know which one you're talking about.
You know exactly which one I'm talking about. But every other scene she's in, fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, brilliant. Honestly, what a badass. Harry and I think she's our favourite character that we've seen so far.
Yeah, she's Rachel's favourite character. Like, she absolutely loves her. Like, she thinks she's fantastic. Especially, like, I mean, the fighting stuff is brilliant. Like, really,
the fighting stuff was absolutely incredible, but also the way she treats people in a different persona. I loved it. I thought she was fucking fantastic. Mm-hmm. Right, I do like the relationship between Tony Stark and this Justin bloke. Two absolute dicks. Harry just asked me why Tony Stark is in a racing car and I didn't have an answer for him.
Hang on. I'll tell you what you've missed.
What have I missed?
Did you miss Elon Musk?
No, yeah. He's in this.
He's in this, yeah. Elon Musk.
Is he at the bar, like, with all the posh people?
Yeah, he's there, and he, like, Tony Stark goes up to him and, like, talks to him a bit, and then he just says, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about making an electric plane. Like that. And
it's okay. Is there many of them, like, real world?
No, that's one cameos. Of the only ones.
Is it really? That's a shame. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like David Beckham just going, I think I might go and kick a football. so stupid. Okay, people know who you are, but we need a line in here to really drum home. I didn't notice it.
But no, I mean, it's quite funny because if you watch it back, you'll notice that it looks very uncomfortable. Like, he looks completely out of place, like, with the acting and everything.
Well, yeah, to be fair, he looks completely out of place everywhere. That man has a very unique face, which surprises me that I didn't pick up on it. So, it looks like Elon Musk as Elon Musk looks now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In a suit.
Because I don't want to say anything just in case I get sued. But
be careful.
Some people can dramatically change the way they look.
Right.
I'm not saying whether I think he's one of those people, but I wasn't convinced that I would know what he would look like back then. All right?
Right, okay.
That's skirting around it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right, okay, yeah. Harry just asked me why Tony Stark is in a race car and I didn't have an answer for him. This whole section is one of the most confusing things I think I've ever seen in a film, James.
How? Why is this confusing?
Why is he in a race car?
Okay, he just wants to live for the thrill.
Right.
That's the thing. He's having a midlife crisis.
But
so he's doing that.
Do they build up the fact that there's a race going on outside of this party? Or is it... Because I don't remember it. I just remember him being at the party and then going, I'll be right back. And next thing you know, he's in a race car.
Well, it's Monaco.
Outside.
So there's like Grand Prix and everything going on.
Okay. But then I said, why is Mickey Rourke here now? What the fuck is going on? Like, why?
Yeah, but then you see what he does.
Okay, so I'm getting to that. Right, okay, let me cover this bit, this whole scene. Okay, I just have to... it was just to have this really cool scene, fair enough. So that kind of sums it up, right? So Mickey Rourke at Monaco can just walk onto the track. Like,
no, he was dressed up as pit crew, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
But then how did he hide his... Oh, that's it. That's right. He was dressed up as pit crew.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was so blatant that he had something underneath his...
Yes, yeah, because it was like huge.
Yeah.
It was like massive.
I know. And also, are you telling me you've just got to wear like some like fire-resistant overalls just to wander onto the fucking racetrack?
Just try it.
Like, yeah, I'll try it next time Monaco's on, yeah.
Yeah.
Good shout. Okay. Then I've put in capital letters, how are they driving on the racetrack now? This is all mental. So this is when Jon Favreau turns up. Yeah. And he just drives on.
He's just driving the wrong way, like around the whole thing. Yeah, and miraculously, they don't die.
Yeah. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. Mm-hmm. This is all absolute nonsense, but also insanely cool. The car being chopped up, the Iron Man suit coming out of the suitcase. This is madness.
I mean, when Mickey Rourke is destroying those cars, like, it looks incredible.
Absolutely
it still
incredible.
Looks brilliant. Like the way they were flipping through the air and all that. You know,
the explosions, the flipping, the way he individually just rips apart that car, Jon Favreau's car, was brilliant. Like, it was brilliant, but I mean, total fucking nonsense that they're on a racetrack at Monaco.
Yeah, of course,
and Iron Man.
It's completely ridiculous. But even like Jon Favreau running him over and stuff, and then all the panic that's going on while that's going on was pretty good.
We were wetting ourselves during that bit.
It was really funny.
When he kept reversing it and driving back into him. Yeah, we were laughing a lot. Right, okay. Mickey Rourke's character is great. The discussion in his prison cell, great stuff. In fact, brilliant throughout this film, in my opinion.
See, and that's the thing. If this film had focused almost solely on him and on Hammer, this could have been a much better film, I think.
Totally agree.
They were the two things which were the best about this.
Totally. Well, yeah, him and Hammer versus Rhodes and Stark. Yeah. That's great. Mm-hmm. Like, that's great, because I really did think Rhodes was great. Stark... not my favourite character, to be honest with you. Like, I get a little bit irritated with it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, the constant womanising and just the attitude and everything. I hope he grows up. You know what I mean?
No, I don't want to spoil it, but he does change quite a lot.
I'm sure he does. Like, I mean, he has to. He can't be like this in a film in, like, 2022.
Yeah.
There's just something about his attitude in this. I've had 2 films of it now, and I just go, I'm a little bit tired. I want to see more from him. Yeah. Whereas I feel we've learnt more about Rhodes and we like Mickey Rourke's character. Not Hammer. Hammer's just like a silly villain. But like, I don't know. I didn't really. I think. But having those 2 face off against each other seems way more fun than some of the directions they took with this film. But
we'll talk about the problems the film had, but go on.
Okay. Harry seemed more upset that Tony Stark said he was going to cancel his birthday party than he was when he was attacked with a man with electric whips. You know, in the scene where he's on the plane and he goes, so we're sitting there, we're watching the film, the scene on the plane, and Tony Stark is trying to convince Pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like he's trying to tell Pepper that he's dying, right? Mm-hmm. And he's saying, look, we'll cancel my birthday party and we'll go on a retreat together. Mm-hmm. And this is after he'd made her CEO of Stark Industries, right? So she was like, no, I've got way too much to do. There's no way I'm going on a retreat. So this was after, right?
Yeah.
Because he did it before the party. He said, look, I'll cancel my birthday party. And Harry went, oh, no. And I sort of went, what? He said, Tony Stark said he's going to cancel his birthday party. I went, mate, he nearly got chopped in half with electric whips 3 weeks ago. And you 3 minutes ago, and you were punching the air.
He's got all that weird shit all over him as well. He's dying.
I know. Cancelling a birthday party really is top of the worst things that could happen to a 7-year-old, isn't it? It's nuts. True. Prison escape, of course Justin Hammer is a bad guy. Of course he is. I mean, you kind of knew it was coming. Like
that prison escape though was pretty brutal as well, I thought. Like Mickey Rourke killing that guard and everything as he was coming out.
How did he kill the
horrible.
guard? I can't remember.
He just grabbed him and just like broke his neck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't think Harry picked up on that. I think he just thought he chucked him. So I think it was all right. But I'm not averse to him finding out what I don't know. Right. I Want My Bird bit was weird.
But that whole scene with the table and everything, I love that. I thought it was brilliant because there was, I mean, to me, when I saw that, I thought there's such tension here, like between these characters, where all the time I was expecting, Mickey Rourke was going to go crazy or something at some point, and there was going to be violence, but it didn't happen. And it's just, I don't know, I felt very uncomfortable through the whole of that scene.
It was pretty good, but yeah, the way they introduced the running joke about the bird, which doesn't really go anywhere, does it?
It kind of does. It's
by the end of the film.
It has a bad ending, doesn't it? But
it does. But like, if you take that bird thing out, it sounds like an idea that they just kind of just chucked in there, like rather than it was a bit out of place, James, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, he was trying to make a connection with him, wasn't he? Trying to make him happy or whatever.
I don't know, James. Come on, you take that out of the film, it makes absolutely no difference.
Well, probably not. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Hammer's Iron Man suit looks like Transformers. Okay, little observation that I wrote down there at the time. Drunk Iron Man, the DJ, made us laugh a lot. We were all over that bit. That is a crowd pleaser moment, right?
Yeah, definitely, especially when he's doing like the stuff, like with the watermelon and stuff, like just exploding stuff and all that.
No, it's before when he's DJing and all that sort of stuff, and then he's dancing on stage. We were all over that. We loved it. And Harry was asking why he's doing it, and I said, well, he knows he's going to die, mate, so he's sort of given up, like, caring, which is an interesting conversation, but yeah, cool. Okay, the bit where Rhodes turns up to stop the party is proper funny. What does he do?
Well, because he goes, first of all, he turns up, and he's like, tries to get Pepper to stop it, but then she fails. Then he goes down and gets the suit, doesn't he? And then he comes back up wearing the suit and just saying, "Okay, everyone leave," like that, and then everyone just runs away, because obviously things are going to start happening.
There was the massive fight between the two of them at this point, wasn't there?
Yeah,
that was great. Like him falling through the ceiling, and then they
smashed into the fireplace and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
they foreshadow what happens at the end at that point, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
Is there a lot of that? It's like, they're doing something new. And then at the end, it's like, of course, that's really how they're going to get over it. Like,
not really. It doesn't happen a lot, I don't think.
Okay, cool. Nick Fury has turned up. Harry had to remind me that his name was Nick Fury. Harry, I was like, is that guy's, what's his name? And Harry was like, Nick Fury. I was like, okay. Scarlett Johansson works for Nick Fury. Okay. I'll tell you
Black Widow.
I'll put my... She's what?
She's Black Widow.
Right, you can't just say that to me, James. That means nothing to me.
I'm pretty certain they say that in this film at some point.
I don't think they do.
Maybe they don't, but that's who she is. That's her character. She's called Black Widow.
Right. I think I've heard of Black Widow. I think I've heard of that character. It's weird that they don't go, "Hey, it's Black Widow" at any point.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to know it? Like, is it obvious?
It's obvious if you've read any of the comic books or anything at all, because that's who that character is. But are you sure they don't mention the name in this film?
I didn't pick up on it if they did. I'm pretty sure they don't. They call her something else. I can't remember.
Well, they call her, like, Natasha Romanoff.
That's it, Natasha... Yeah, that's it. Natasha Romanoff, yeah. I don't think they call her Black Widow in this film.
Maybe not. Maybe that's in Avengers that happens. I can't remember.
Well, anyway, I didn't see it coming. Genuinely, I thought that was going to be a potential love interest, or I didn't know what that character was going to be. I know there was more to her because of, like, the martial arts moves she did at the start of the film. But at no point did I think, that's like one of the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Is she an Avenger?
Would you want me to tell you?
Well, no, she is, isn't she? Because she's working with Nick Fury.
Yeah, so she is one of the Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, because she's... Oh, what are you talking about? Because she gives, like, a full report on him, doesn't she?
Yeah. And, I mean, you may have... you probably won't remember this, but do you remember the Avengers game that we played? Like, we played it at that expo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was one of the characters in that. Like,
right, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, probably... Not surprised you don't remember, because it wasn't that great.
I remember the Hulk bit.
Yeah.
But then I knew the Hulk. Not personally. Okay, didn't see that coming. So that was a nice little surprise for us. We like that. I really like that Hammer Ivan thing. What? Actually, we're really enjoying this movie at this point. Oh, so the whole dynamic between Hammer and Ivan or Whitman, or whatever you want to call him. I just like the dynamic there, the fact that they're both blatantly in it for their own selfish reasons.
And clearly hate each other as well.
Each other. Both got their own ideas on how things should be done. So this is the bit where he rips off that £1.5 million head or whatever it was, and then sort of just goes no. Then creates a drone head and all that sort of stuff. That was good. Okay, I like Agent. Right, I can't remember the name, and I didn't hear it when I was writing it down. So I've put, okay, I like Agent Cole or Colt. What's his name?
Oh man, Coulson. There you go, Agent Coulson.
Coulson. Spell that.
I think it's Caulson.
Coulson.
Tweet me later. I think it's that.
Right. Okay. Or whether I'm going to tase you and watch Super Nanny was the line where I just went, okay, I've got time for this character now. I'll be honest with you, had you not have told me that he was in Iron Man 1, I wouldn't have recognised him. But then...
Yeah, but that's the point, though, because he's supposed to be just like a government agent person who's kind of in the background, that you don't really see much.
There's a few of those, isn't there, the government agent people? Yeah,
although I mean, he becomes like more important as it goes on. Like,
well, you already know by the end of this film that he's actually really important in all this, definitely. But we'll get to that. Oh my! The reveal that Iron Man and Whitman's dads work together to create the reactor is great. I love that. Because what I loved about that is that it wasn't like blatantly obvious. Like when you, it's just a headline, isn't it, on a newspaper?
Yeah, you see
going through the stuff.
That's the thing. Like, well, also at the beginning of the film, there's like, there's that they show like bits and pieces from the past and everything with that.
That's right.
And there's like hints at it there, but not enough that you'd probably like put.
No, because when you think back, I was like, oh, of course, he was saying. Because they were watching Iron Man on the telly, wasn't he? And, the dad said, that should have been you.
Yeah, it should have been yours, should have been you, that kind of thing,
Yeah. So, there's hints to it, but yeah, really, really good. The bit where Tony's dad is talking to him on the video. This is a really good movie, isn't it? That was my fault at this point of the movie. Yeah, because
at that point, that was really good, all of that. Like that whole, especially, I mean, I love that line when he just says, what was it? He says, he's been dead for how long, but he's still taking me to school. It's like my dad's still teaching me stuff at this point.
Well, that happens a little bit later.
That's a bit later, yeah.
And during a bit that I've got to ask you about, because I was so confused. Right, okay. Oh no, Bill O'Reilly is in this. This instantly drops points now. And this was the sort of start of where I started having problems with this film, I think, from this scene. I was okay to overlook the Monaco bit as just a set piece for some crazy shit you're seeing. So, like, I'm okay with that. But then, right, okay, so there's a whole part of this film where I was like, I don't get this. Wait, I'm confused. Tony Stark's dad came... Right, this is what it seemed like to me. I'm probably an idiot, or I missed something, or whatever. Tony Stark's dad came up with a cure for his toxic blood years before any of this had happened and put it in a model of a town. Is that what's really happened?
Not quite.
Go on, explain to me what the fuck happened.
So, what this is, obviously the thing that Tony Stark puts in his chest is this palladium.
Yeah, it's a scaled-down version of that massive reactor that they run things on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's toxic and it's really bad. But then Tony Stark's been spending ages trying to work out how to use something else which doesn't do that. Something which isn't so toxic. And so he says that he's tried every single element, to try and make this happen. And that's why Nick Fury says to him, you haven't tried everything.
Right.
Now, what his dad has discovered is actually his dad has discovered a new element. And he discovered it like a long time ago, but he didn't have the technology at the time to be able to make it, bring it to being, bring it, for it to happen. Okay. So he left the plans for what this element was in as part of that, the expo. That was the design of the molecule was from the expo, like how it was laid out, like on the blueprint. Now, the thing is you're right, because it is ridiculous in a sense, because the thing is that's fine. Like, great, he's created a new element that works in terms of like the like for the energy, like making something which is like non-polluting energy, which is one of the major things that like Stark invents or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the fact that it also cures him is yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can
it's
kind of overlook that if they told the story a little bit better. And everything you're explaining there, it's there, but it's so scattered in pieces.
Yeah.
And overshadowed by the whole, hey, I've got to work out this puzzle in the map. Mm-hmm. And by the time you're at that point, you're like, so what? Is he hidden in the map?
Yeah.
And how?
So, it's
I still don't understand how it was hidden in the map. Like, for example, right, I thought it was going to be one of those silly things, but very visual, that he was going to shine like a light at a certain point on the map, and it was going to give him an equation, or it was going to give him something, and you'd go, oh, look, he's done this clever thing with that scale model.
Like Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Something like that. It's not as, as high-tech as you would expect from an Iron Man film, right? But at least it explains to the viewer quite clearly what has happened. Here, he sort of... or the rest of the map is irrelevant, and it's all about that globe in the middle, and then the globe splits into like 50 different things, and I'm like, I don't get any of this.
Right, so, but see, what they don't explain very well... And I'm not a physicist, so I don't understand all of this. Let me just make that very clear.
Yeah, okay, fine. Point. But this film isn't made for physicists.
Exactly. So the whole point was that the layout of the map was supposed to be what the new element looked like, because all elements are made up in this way of like.
I know. I'm aware. Bits and pieces. Yeah. Are you sure you're not a physicist, James?
How can you tell? It's just like
go on.
And so, but yeah, when it because that's the thing. When I was watching this, you see, I remembered it more as being like the whole map, like laid out, was like demonstrating like an element or
again,
whatever, and that's
way
what it
more
was.
Visual. That would have worked better.
And then, because then, as I said, when I rewatched it, and I was like, but then you're right. It goes down into the globe bit, and you're like, okay, well, where is this going now? Like, why has he done that? And yet it's not entirely clear, but I've always taken it from it is that the map is a design for an element, basically.
which I get, right? But yeah, it goes down to the globe bit and then element, and I'm like, no, how did you get from globe to element? Like, that bit is not explained whatsoever. Like, you want to look at that and go, his dad was a genius, and I get like how he's discovered this secret, but it wasn't. He picks up the globe and the computer goes element.
He just goes, congratulations, you've just discovered a new element. And it's like, how did you do that? But I still like that line though about his dad, like saying like, you're still teaching him. I still
that's great. It's just how did he teach you, Tony? It makes no fucking sense. Right, okay, here's the bit that I referred to at the start of this call. Was there a joke about Captain America's shield in this?
Yes.
Right. So someone, I can't remember who, grabs something that looks like Captain America's shield.
It's Coulson.
Right, Coulson picks it up, throws it to him and says, use this.
Yeah.
And the joke, I assume, is he's using this big iconic thing to prop up a pipe.
Yes.
Right.
That's the joke. Yeah.
Here's what I don't get. Why is Captain America's shield? What is
you mean why is it there? That you will find out in the next film.
Is this?
This is foreshadowing stuff that's going to happen.
Is there time travel stuff?
Just wait until the next film.
The next one,
not the next one. Sorry, the film after the next one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm on board then.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. Here's my problem. I didn't know that was Captain America's shield 100%. Obviously, I've seen what Captain America's shield looks like because he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. But like, it was just like this battered up thing with a star in the middle, and I was like, was that? I guess that was supposed to be a gag about using Captain America's film, but then shield. But here's the thing. Here's the weird thing. For those people that watch this. They didn't know it was foreshadowing, so it must have just been a bit weird. Like, you sat there and just go, why is that there?
Well, this is also one of the things, maybe we can talk about this at the end of the film, at the end of this, because this is one of the other issues there are with it, which I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
The two security guards who turn up to take the whip man's bird and shoes are laughable.
Yeah,
like just awful. That bit was just terrible. Mm-hmm. This portion of film has been a touch wank. Just when we were totally getting into it, it seems to really slow down. It slowed down. It went back to the lab again. It was really taking. I mean, this is a 2-hour film. Mm-hmm. And you just feel like a lot of this could be done so much, like the pace of it could have been done so much better.
They probably could have cut about 20 minutes off it, I think, actually.
Yeah,
stuff,
I think you're right.
Which is
or at least, like, reduced it down, you know? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of this it was sort of just dragged out, and I just thought we were getting a little bit bored. Okay, Hammer's press conference is like so many E3 shows I've seen. The tepid applause.
I'll tell you something about that as well. You know, he comes on and he's all like dancing and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was the Steve Ballmer thing. The developers thing.
What they were trying to make that. Yeah, that was good. I like the tepid applause when he announced something. I was like, how many Konami press conferences have we seen where that's been the response? It made me laugh a lot. They definitely watched a few E3 shows to get that.
I think
right.
so, yeah. But as I said, it was the Microsoft thing as well. Of like Ballmer coming on and being like, "Whoa!" And everyone's just like, "What the fuck's going on?"
I put, "Okay, I'm back in. Robots and roads have all been hacked, y'all." Yeah. This is where the film gets good again. Mm-hmm. There are way more explosions in this film, yet way less visible deaths than there were in the Incredible Hulk.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Everything's blowing up, and you don't see hardly anyone die.
See, that's the thing, like, because I was rewatching this and I was thinking the death count on this must have been enormous. There's all these explosions everywhere, and like there's all these robots like machine gunning everything. And
Well, we'll get to that when we get to the self-destruct thing, because I need to talk to you about that. That was mad. Loved Iron Man saving Little Iron Man. That's what I thought these films were about.
Yeah.
It needs a touch more of that sort of shit, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is so dumb, but when one of those robots thinks that the little kid with an Iron Man mask is Iron Man and goes to shoot him, and then Iron Man saves him, I love that. That was, I don't know, maybe I'm soft, but I love that shit. Not sure we needed Scarlett Johansson getting changed in the back of the car.
That was the bit I've been waiting for, because I saw that and I just thought, oh.
They wouldn't have had that in.
No, nowadays they would not.
I know. There's some people that I could totally see why cinema needed to change. I could totally see why society needs to change, and part of that evolution is to look back on these things and go, "That was fucked up."
Yeah, because it was completely unnecessary. Yeah, and it's just
There's no problem with saying that, and like you can still look back on the positives with these movies and still highlight stuff like this and go, yes, it was of its time, but that's not a way to discredit it. Like that's not a way to sort of shrug it off and go, it was of its time. No, it was of its time, and looking back on it, you've got to go, that's messed up. That is messed up, and it's such a shame for a character that was handled brilliantly throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah, like, that they just use that as like a cheap sort of...
Yeah. Literally no need. And Jon Favreau, like, staring at her in the mirror and that. It's just horrible, like, fucking hell, man. Weird. Right, okay. Other than that, but though, she's such a cool character. We're both big fans. Spoke about that. Okay, two people getting hanged by the neck is a bit rough, was James.
Pretty grim, wasn't it? Yeah,
bit rough. Yeah. Bit rough.
I mean, they don't like, because I know what you mean, because that was pretty horrible, and also, yeah, but they don't dwell on it though. Like they don't like go into too much detail, but it's still very obvious what's happened there.
Well, no, they show a full shot of them being hanged by the neck, and then it cuts to just their shoes in the shot.
Yeah,
it's just not needed, is it? What is that needed for? Were they were the two security guards, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
absolutely not needed.
Yeah. You're right, though. They were rubbish.
They were rubbish, but, like, just tie them up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the old Batman, was it Adam West Batman things? Everyone just got tied up in that.
You just tie them up and wait for the police commissioner to turn up. You know?
Yeah. Okay, road suit is way better than Tony's. It is.
Oh, it's because it's got all the hammer stuff, though, isn't it? You know?
It just with the massive fucking gun that comes over his right shoulder. Yeah. I bet there's people out there that go, "Oh yeah, but actually the sleek design is so much cool and iconic." Oh, I don't care. You seen that massive gun that comes over his shoulder, mate? Forget about it.
See, also, he's got a superhero name as well. Like, I don't know if you know.
No. Oh, can I guess it?
Yeah, go on.
Iron Man 2. No, right? That's what we were calling him, actually. And then Harry was calling Iron Man 1 throughout the rest of his film. Stillman?
No. You're never going to get it.
Still Steve.
It's War Machine.
Okay, that is a fucking good. Like, I was gonna go, oh no, I've got a better one. No, that is actually a fucking wicked superhero name. Fair play, Marvel. You win at naming your superheroes. Well done with that. Yes, the battle in the garden with the robots. Yes, love that bit. Good. So good. So
I mean, especially the thing is like when I was watching that, you know, like all those robots, they will just come in and sort of land, and you're just thinking, why aren't they just all attack? Like, why are they just waiting for it? But then you're just thinking, yeah, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, and, like, it looks really cool.
It ratchets up the tension.
I did do that though when he chopped them all in half. I was like, why didn't he do that about 5 minutes ago? And then he goes, oh, I can only do that once. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Okay, you've covered.
That's what Rhodes says. Like, he just says you could have done that up front.
Yeah,
you know, just
yeah. The moment he landed in the thing, why didn't he do that? Yeah, on stage. Just a quick point, you might not have picked up at this, but you know when the cops come in to arrest Hammer?
Yeah.
Watch that scene again. Terrible dubbing for the voice of the cops.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't line up with their lips at all.
Okay.
I'll watch it again. I might have to clip it for you because it's awful.
I'll watch that. You look for Elon Musk.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. I'll just point that out. When he comes in, puts the handcuffs on him, he says something, and it's just completely just overdubbed. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. Oops, excuse me. Trying to use the ex-wife bullet or missile. That was really good. How it just bounced off him.
And fizzled out.
Yeah, it just fizzled out. That was quite funny. Not the name of it. The fact that it just pinged off Whitman. Mm-hmm. That's what I put. Ended up really liking Pepper by the end of this movie. Was sad when she quit. The scene where they kiss, I think, was just about justified. Mm-hmm. Just about justified, because I think it's clear that they both kind of liked each other throughout the whole two films.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been building to that. It's just that
it had, and I think they just get away with it. Because I think if she was a little bit more aggressive to him throughout the films, it might have fallen into the Leia Han Solo situation. But I don't think it gets there, so I think it worked. No,
because she stands up for herself throughout all the time.
She does. You know, she absolutely does. And she clearly cares for him on top of that. So it kind of works. How did Nick Fury get Stern to honour Stark and Rhodes an award? I mean, I get that it's a funny bit of the film, but how does that work?
Well, I don't think Nick Fury kind of like outranks him or whatever, but he can make things happen, can't he? And I think he just did that on purpose.
Fine,
you know?
But isn't Nick Fury what? So Nick Fury's known by the authorities.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
I had no idea that was the case.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he's like S.H.I.E.L.D. like director, but he's still known by people like in the government. Like,
right,
absolutely
okay.
Is.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Then that totally explains that bit. But yeah, no, it's quite funny when he put the award on Stark and he jammed it into him and stuff like that. Good. Got time for that. Right. Harry's excited to see what happens after the credits. Don't let me down here, James. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Thor up next then.
Yeah.
Right, so summary. Harry said he enjoyed Iron Man 2. It gets a 10 out of 10.
Wow, okay.
It's the best one he's seen so far, apparently. Personally, I think he started way too high, giving Iron Man a 9. So, that's the problem. What's he going to do now if a better film comes along? Although it's hard to totally disagree, I enjoyed this. It has some weak moments, but overall, I think it's the one that I enjoyed the most so far.
Yeah, I definitely think so, actually. Although, as you said, I've got issues with this as well, in that it does get far too padded out, like about 2/3 of the way.
Yeah,
in.
Agreed. Totally.
But it's still, and it could have had a better focus, but then that's not entirely, like, it's not Jon Favreau's fault, apparently. Because what happened with this is what I was going to get into, is that Marvel really apparently intervened a lot with this film,
right?
Because they kept on having the scripts rewritten all the time, because they were trying to incorporate all the elements of for what were going to happen in the MCU, with the for that, which is why the stuff with the Captain America shield and all that sort of stuff. That's why all that was in there, and it was and that was why the film feels a bit incoherent, I think, in places, because they just kept on trying to stuff bits in to try and foreshadow stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think the stuff on the Monaco scene, right? I think is a mess, and makes absolutely no sense. But when the payoff is that spectacle, I'm willing to overlook it. But where you've got that period of the film where it's just a bit nonsensical, a bit boring. There's not enough humour in those bits. There's not enough action in those bits. That big chunk of that film, I was like, man, this is such a shame, because the pacing was good, the action was fantastic, the comedy was working, and then it was just this big chunk where it was like, oh, this is a different film, which these films have done quite a lot, right, over the past, so far from what I've seen. These films do feel like, here's a chunk of film, here's a chunk of film, here's a chunk of film, and put together. And I hope they get better at that. I'm sure they do.
No, they do. They absolutely do. I mean, this is far superior, I felt, to Incredible Hulk, for example. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I still thinking about that film. I really didn't enjoy it that much. It was all right, but it wasn't that great. This is when for me it starts to become more interesting. I mean, I remember. See, I saw this film. The first time I saw it was when I was living in Shanghai, actually. And there's a weird thing about this, because how Mickey Rourke's supposed to be Russian.
Yeah.
Well, in the version that I saw, that is never mentioned, and they changed it so that he wasn't Russian in the film. And nobody knows why they did that, the censors. It's very strange. Yeah, it's every time the name...
Where was
Russia,
he from?
No, it didn't say. It just... all it said on the subtitles was, I don't speak language from that country, and things like that.
That's a bit weird.
And then also they blurred any time that with the audio, so that you couldn't hear the word Russian. It was very strange.
Yes.
And
anyway, I think we summed up the film. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm looking forward to these getting better. I'm looking forward to them getting smarter with how they get from A to B, because at the moment it's a bit messy and a bit baffling, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, but although, I think that does get better as things go on. It definitely gets better. But I still think, but they're still enjoyable films, though, right? Do you know what I mean? It's still...
Yes, I think for the most part, it was an enjoyable film. I think I came away from it hoping that it would be a little bit more enjoyable than it was, but I still enjoyed it. I'll tell you what, well, before we move on, the last scene, the post-credit scene, that's when I went, okay, this character... Coulson, is it? That's where you realise that character is really important, because obviously you've got a process to get invited into the Avengers. We saw it in this one where Tony Stark was obviously refused entry into the Avengers, which I found absolutely mind-blowing, because he's in the Avengers, right? So, I found that a bit mind-blowing, that he sort of was told that he was going to be an advisor, and he turned that role down. So that was, that was interesting. But you can see that there's a process now. Coulson finds them. There's people like Scarlett Johansson going and seeing if they're worthy, and then filing a report. So I'm interested to see where that side of things goes.
So we got Thor next.
We have, and we've watched the trailer.
Oh, okay. What did you think of the trailer?
The trailer was mind-blowing, James. It's so funny. All I knew about Thor is that he had a hammer that only he could pick up. That's all I knew about him. And I'd seen some posters, and I just thought, I'm not going to like this character. Just not going to like it. It looks too much like Viking or something like that. Too... Watch the trailer, blew my mind. I thought... this film looks fucking incredible. I cannot wait to watch this film. James, I'm so excited for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, can I tell you, this is one of Chen's favourites. Like, as in, she loves this character. Like, she loves Thor. Like, she's one of his favourites. Like, the whole series.
Worried that it's a bit California Man. Is that do you remember California Man?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, because clearly what I get him from the trailer is that he's from another planet and he's been banished from that planet and he lands on Earth and he's like, oh no, what? I can't believe I'm on Earth.
But I mean, that is kind of what happens, but it doesn't go too wacky. It's not like that.
If there's a scene with a human taking Thor to a McDonald's and he's going, well, what's this? Like, I don't think I'll be able to handle that. Don't spoil it, James. Don't spoil it. Like, or if there's a scene where he's getting dressed in human clothes, like in a department store, and he just looks stupid. California Man. That's all I'm thinking. We'll see. But I mean, I honestly, I didn't think the trailer totally fucking worked on me. I'm so pumped for it.
Really? Okay, that surprises me. Okay.
Why does that surprise you?
Well, no, because this is the one I thought would probably be the hardest sell in a way. But then,
well, I've not seen the film yet, James.
But this is the thing, not because of what the film is, but you see, I had very similar feelings to you before seeing this film as well.
Really?
Because I'm not really into all that stuff at all. Like, like the Norse mythology and all that kind of thing. It doesn't really interest me that much. So I was a bit worried about that. But
there was that stuff where it was like where they were talking in that sort of way, you have betrayed the all that stuff I'm not into. But that film made me think that is like the opening 5 minutes. Don't tell me anything, don't say anything. But that trailer made me think, oh, the opening 5 minutes is, son, you have let everyone down, goodbye. And then, oh my god, I'm in Earth. What's this, a video game? Do you know what I mean? Like,
this film also has one of my favourite characters in it as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you'll see. He's great.
That's the America Man, right?
What?
Does the America Man, Captain America?
No. He's not in that. No, he's not in this one.
Oh, right. He's your favourite, though, isn't he?
He's one of my favourites. Yeah.
Okay, you've got several favourites. How many favourites you got, James?
I don't know, about 4 or 5, maybe. I think there's some good characters. I mean, there's a lot of characters in these films, Dave. Like by the end, there's about 40. I think by the end, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but hold on, there's like 40 in one fucking film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this film for a long time.
Much longer than I thought we were going to as well, because I thought this would be a shorter one.
I did have lots to talk about.
But so I'm really glad that at least Harry enjoyed it as well. That it was, that it was a good time had. Because it's... Yeah.
I'm not so sure he did enjoy it as much as he said he did. He was asking way more questions about what the fuck was going on on this one. He didn't really need to ask that for the previous 2 films.
Did you explain the element thing to him, yeah? Did you go through all that?
I sort of just said he's found a medicine for his thing.
Okay.
So there was a lot more questions. How complicated did they get? Was this like the more...
That's about the apex of complications.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my whole fucking time answering questions watching these films.
No, there's a lot of things like there's a big glowing box. What does that do? It doesn't matter. It's magic.
Right, okay, good.
It's like that, basically.
Here we go. So you were really worried about Harry, knowing that Harry was watching this film. What was the scene that you were worried about?
No, not really worried, but I was thinking, it's going to be like the Scarlett Johansson stuff was not great, with the car and all that kind of thing. And,
Yeah, I get that. Well, here's the funny thing. So this morning, like, I kind of wanted to watch... Free Guy, is it?
Yeah.
And so, I kind of wanted to watch that film, but I didn't really know much about it. Hold on. I'm just replying to a text. How rude. Oh, and I've typoed. So sorry.
Don't worry, it's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So I kind of wanted to watch that film, but I didn't know too much about it. Joe said to me today, so we're all stuck in isolation, obviously, and so we're just watching like loads of films to get through it. Joe said, Disney Plus there's that Free Guy. Do you want to watch that? Let's all watch that. So he sat the kids down, and it was a 12A, so Harry's seen those. Oh my God, have you seen it?
I've not seen it, no.
The swearing throughout, there's an F, there's several S's, which I'm totally liberal, like with that stuff. Language is language. You know, I wouldn't want Harry going outside the house and swearing. Don't get me wrong, but I am not strict that he can't hear those words and stuff like that. So it's not too bad. But there's a lot of the word virgin is said a lot in that.
Right.
Harry's like, what's that? Just don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like that stuff, I was a bit like, I don't want to have this discussion right now. And it was hilarious watching Jo. Jo was, at one point she shouted, "This is a Disney film." No, I'm not even sure it is, but like, I think in her head, this was like Moana or something.
Yeah.
So I think you're kind of let off the hook, James, because I don't think Marvel's, from what you said, I don't think Marvel's going to get anywhere near this.
No, nowhere near. No, it's not like that. Oh, I just love the idea every time of like, you know, every time you're watching a film, Harry just going, "Just be Iron Man." You know, it's like, it's just like...
I just like the fact that if you're going to watch these films along with me, right, I've just got this feeling that there's a scene in every film that you're going to be like, "Oh my God, Harry's going to see this." Like in the next one, Thor just goes, "Fucking hell, I need a fucking shit." And you're like, "Oh God, I forgot about that bit." "Oh, do you know what I need? Is a good old wank." "Oh no, oh God, here we go." Sorry, David.
It's all the jizz jokes.
He's done a jizz. Oh no, Captain America's jizz jokes. I forgot that bit.
It's absolute filth.
Right, I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.